eat the skin too. So we're going to smash these. Now you could slice them if you don't want to do this, but the reason I want to smash them is it kind of breaks up the structure of the cucumber and allows the dressing to kind of penetrate. So what I'm going to do is actually just, I'm going to cut this in half, and then I'm going to take a meat mallet, and I literally am going to just, you could use one of these, or you could use, I may just use this one. We'll see. And you're literally just going to beat that cucumber into pieces. And then you're going to just kind of, it's a little messy, but that's okay. And then you're going to break up the pieces of the cucumber into, bite-sized pieces, about like that. You see the craggly edges here, just the craggly little edge on the cucumber. That's what you want to get. It's a little bit of a messy job, but that's okay. You could do it in a baggie if you wanted to. Cut down a little bit on the mess. That'd be fine too. It also helps to get rid of some of these seeds, and you don't want to keep the seeds. So we're going to just do that. We're going to continue to do. It's messy. Great job for your kids. And the goal is to have them uneven. And what we're going to do is slice them. Get rid of the seeds and any of the water. Cucumbers contain a lot of water. And you could even, if you wanted to, cut them in half and then smash them. Either way, whatever you want to do, just get them smashed. This is a great thing to do. Salting your cucumbers is a great thing to do, even if you're not making this salad, but you're putting cucumbers in any salad. I would salt them ahead, and it doesn't make them salty. It just draws out the moisture so that your dressings don't get diluted. And you're left with just the meat of the cucumber, which is good. And just rip it. Doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, you don't want it to be, really. And what you want to do is add some salt, some kosher salt. It's what I'm using. Add some kosher salt. And then toss your cucumbers in that over a colander. See, or in a colander over a bowl. I'm just going to, I don't know, just a couple of good pinches. Toss your cucumbers around and let them set for about 15 or 20 minutes. And I'll show you what happens at the end of that. So just set that to the side. A little messy, but who cares? Cooking is messy. It just is. Clean up as you go, and you're good to go. Now, we are going to make a beef stir fry, or beef fried rice, rather, that's got beef in it. It's a great way to extend a little bit of meat to feed a whole lot of people. Now, I have here 2 sirloin steaks, an inexpensive cut of beef, but you could actually even just use ground beef if you wanted to in this. These are a little bit thick, so I'm going to cut them in half. If yours aren't as thick, you won't need to do this. Now, you could cut them into small cubes. You could cut them into slices, but you want small pieces. So what I'm going to do, first of all, is, if I can find my little thing, where's my little, well, I don't know where it's at. So let me just place this underneath. I need something under my board to stop it from moving. I like those little things that you use to open jars. They work great. Or a damp paper towel works great. See how that just sort of stabilized it? Cut your steak into pieces. And then I'm going to just cut those pieces into smaller pieces. into little bits because we're making a fried rice. So you want the pieces of the beef to be, you know, little cubes. Something like that is fine. If you want to use ground beef, you can use ground beef. If you want to use chicken, you could use chicken. You could use pork, some lean cut pork chops. Just dice them up. Really any kind of protein that you want. Or leave the meat out and make it, you know, meatless. Just make fried rice. You can do that. This is also a great use for any leftovers that you might have. Maybe you've got some leftover steak or you've got some leftover roast chicken or something, a pork chop left over, and you're like, I don't know what I want to do with that. It's a great way to stretch the proteins because you're going to fill it with some rice and some spinach, and you could really use a lot of different things, anything you wanted. I like chopped up water chestnuts in my stir-fried rice too. Now, you see how I have taken two little small steaks and I have turned it into a bowl of beef that will feed more people. So this is a great use to stretch your meat, because in your budget, of your food budget, meat is definitely the higher priced part of your budget. Now, I want to add some soy sauce to this, just about a teaspoon or so. And I'm just going to take my hands and I'm going to salt, or not salt that, but just kind of stir that around while we prep the rest of our ingredients. And the soy sauce will kind of marinate in the beef and just add some flavor. I'm going to take a quick break, put this in the sink, wash my hands, and when I come back, we'll get all of the rest of our ingredients prepped, and we will start the stir fry. I'll be back in just a minute. Alrighty, now we're going to prep the rest of our ingredients before we start cooking because it really doesn't take that long. Anytime you're doing a stir fry, typically you need to always have your ingredients prepped before you start cooking. So I have here just some fresh spinach, and I'm going to chop it a little bit because it's big pieces, although spinach wilts down to nothing, as we know. You could use frozen spinach in this if you wanted to. Just make sure it's thawed. You could also use any vegetable that you want. If you want to add some shredded carrots, if you don't like spinach, leave it out. Add, anything you want. You could do the little baby corn. You could do celery. You could do water chestnuts, bok choy, anything you want. It's your stir fry. You can make it your own. This is just a great way to get some greens, some vitamins, some minerals. Spinach is very good for you. And honestly, if you've never had spinach other than canned, you need to try the fresh. I don't like canned spinach, and if that was how it tasted, I'd never eat it again. But that's not how it tastes. It tastes good when you cook it properly. I like to chop it kind of fine. And I know that looks like a lot, but it will wilt down to nothing. I'm also going to go ahead and chop up some scallions, just some green onions. I want the green and the white part. Just cut the ends off here. Just 2 or 3. If you don't have any of these and you have a small onion, you could use that. You just want to get that minced up. Add some flavor. and some color, and it'll be delicious. All right. Kind of keep that a little separate. Okay, now I think we're ready to start cooking. I have here a large skillet. This is just a nonstick skillet. I don't have a wok here, and I don't honestly think you need a wok for stir fries. I like to do it in just a regular skillet. I'm going to add just some neutral oil. This is hot. That looks like a lot, but it's really not. Maybe a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. And I'm going to add the beef a little bit at a time. Let me get some tongs here. This will splatter, so be careful. Okay. We want to add this. Because I don't have a whole lot of beef, I can add it all at one time and spread it out. It'll be fine. Okay, just put it all out there and let it go for a minute. This is going to cook very quickly. I'm actually going to turn it up, I believe. Let that go. Let me put this in the sink. I have here some rice that I've cooked. Now, you could absolutely use leftover rice, and it's really actually even better, the leftover cold rice. But I just made some, and I'm letting it cool in this bowl. This is just white rice. You could use brown rice. You could use jasmine, basmati. Actually, I think this is jasmine. Whatever kind of rice you like. Nothing added to it, just plain rice. Okay, that can just set to the side. I have here 1 egg that I'm going to, that was luck, scramble in that in a minute, but I want to go ahead and get that beaten so that I can get it in there real quick. Let that go. You see how that's just getting that moisture out of there. Don't mess with that right now. Let it do its thing so that it can form, that good golden crust that we want on the bottom. So let that go. Let's check on our cucumbers. It's been just a few minutes, and look how much liquid has already drained out of there. Now, that would be in our salad. It always amazes me at how much liquid, in just literally 5 minutes, how much has drained out of that. So let that just continue draining. Let's check our beef here. Leave it alone. Let it just cook through. I am going to add a little bit of pepper to this. I'm not going to add any salt because we are adding soy sauce. And soy sauce tends to be salty. So I don't think you need any extra salt in this dish. We just really want to cook that beef through. And then we're going to add some delicious flavors. I have here some extra soy sauce, and probably one of my favorite ingredients to use with any kind of Asian cooking, or it's so good in so many things. And this is the toasted sesame seed oil. You need to make sure that you get the toasted, the dark. You see how this is very, very dark? Some sesame oil is light colored like canola or vegetable oil. That is not what you want. That has no flavor. The toasted sesame oil is just, it adds, I don't even know how to explain it. It just is so delicious and so flavorful. And this is not a cooking oil, this is a flavoring oil that we're going to add to our sauce. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and add probably about a teaspoon, maybe not quite that much, to my soy sauce. If you like a little heat, if you watch this program at all, you know I do. You can add some red pepper flakes, which I thought I had over here. Where'd they go? Here they are. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I do want to. You could also add some gochujang if you've got that in your refrigerator, or gochugaru, which is the Korean red pepper flakes. Those are delicious in this. But just regular red pepper flakes is good too. Just stir that together, and that's going to be our sauce. Okay, this just literally takes a minute. It's It's almost done. All of that moisture is cooking off of there. Now, you could, if you wanted to, take this out and into a separate bowl, or you can leave it in. That's done. I think I will just put it in a separate bowl. It goes very, very quickly. Just get that out of there. Leave some of the fat in there if you can. That's fine. We don't need to add any more. Now we're going to add our egg. Well, no, let's do our spinach first. We're going to add our spinach and wilt our spinach down. It just takes a minute. You will be amazed at how quickly this goes. I mean, this is definitely a meal that you could make any day of the week, even on your busiest day. This could be ready in under 15 minutes if you've got your ingredients prepped. We're just wilting that spinach. If you want to add a little bit more oil, you can. It really doesn't take that long. Going to add our green onion. Okay, now we've added our egg and our meat. Now we're just going to add in our rice. This is a great use for leftover rice if you have it. Let me get that down. Mix it all together with your sauce that we made with sesame oil, soy sauce, and a little bit of crushed red pepper flakes. Mix that together and you're done. Seriously, that is how easy stir-fry rice is. It is not difficult to make at all. It is a great way to stretch your budget in that you can use leftover protein of any kind. And rice is inexpensive. It's delicious.